Get used to hearing that. And so the members of Vault 33 meet up with the members of Vault 32, and we find out her soon-to-be husband is actually a white guy and
What? That's crazy!
ugly.
You can hear this man cheering in the background. Actually, a white guy. Like, yes! Let's go, guys! We are so back! Anyway.
Shocking. But don't worry, they ruined that pretty shortly. At the wedding...
They ruined that! They ruined that! Also, I love how this guy describes the cousin as a Chad. He's actually just crying that crying that the incest doesn't continue. They ruined that! No! Yes. It's such a weird phrasing. Is that not a weird phrasing?
So Lucy asks her new husband Monty what his sperm count is. And I think I'm actually starting to like this girl. And even
Bro, they obviously don't have the same way they speak as we do in our normal life. They're living in a fucking vault, having sex with their cousins, okay? They're obviously insane down there. They've been there for 200 years. Their society is like 30...
Alright. Let's just plug this in. Okay. Oh, whoops, I didn't actually put the replays into the folder. Hang on. Give me a moment. I'll just, Also, we may have caught a bit of Nux Taku. That's my bad, but I don't think he said anything controversial. Now, where do we fix that? Users, my name, app data, roaming, tooth and tail replays. And then I basically just get rid of all of this shit. And all of that. Apparently the game's a best out of 7? I didn't know that. I did mine out of 5. Some other people have done it out of 5. Whatever. That was the right folder. Okay, that should be all of them. And you know what, I'll put this in the Tawny Discord as well, just in case anyone wants to know. So I think we start with Pingu, right in the middle. Alright, so we got Pingu versus Kerper. Squirrel, Toad, Falcon, Skunk, Wolf, Mine against Squirrel, Pigeon, Falcon, Skunk, Badger, Wire. Not much to talk about deck-wise. They're both pretty standard decks, standard variations. Which one will win? I mean, it will basically come down to Badger Micro and Falcon Count, essentially. Because Mass Falcon plus Wolf. I mean, basically, the answer to Wolf and to Badger is high amounts of damage. Because you either want to kill the Badger before it can rev up, or you want to kill the units the Wolf is buffing before they can make the use out of their boosts. In general, Wolf, on average, I think the Wolf comp wins. Little mine there, just for no reason. The wolf generally wins, but it is composition based. But wolf and enough falcons should be able to gun down Kerper and his badger, unless Kerper has maybe multiple badgers or a high falcon flock of his own. I mean, Pingu, I thought he was going to attack. He has been very slow to get up to 8 farms, going two warrens first. It looks like he is going to attack now, but this is way too late. Kerper's had plenty of time to scout this. He's fully emptied out one warren. The second one is built. Pingu isn't microing properly. He's just tapping on the hill to bring units over when he needs to be focusing down the units. Like, Pingu had an extra 2 squirrels, but traded evenly. That comes down to the fact that Kerper was rallying on the squirrels to target fire, and Pingu wasn't. Also, the fact that Pingu kind of kept some of Pingu's squirrels kept attacking the warren. It doesn't do anything. Like, the warren, you need to kill the units first. Okay, that's a big mine hit. Pingu probably won't be able to get anything off it. The real interesting thing is Kerper going for Badger off the back of his victory. Pingu should have this if he micros properly. He didn't, but leaves anyway. He absolutely could have. He could have potentially snowballed there. But he could come in again. He hasn't scouted the Badger warren. But he's got his Falcons started. Is he going to see it here? He is. Just as it builds, then gets paid for. So he knows he's on a clock. What he needs to do now is sell the toads, sell the mill, pump out as many falcons as he can, as many falcons and squirrels as possible. He's going to try and attack, and I don't think he can get through this. Like, he doesn't have a chameleon or a mole. He does actually find a way around the wire. Okay, get that toad hit right in the middle. One of his falcons is not contributing to the fight, but as long as he focus fires on these squirrels, he should be good. No, he's lost it. This falcon here was just shooting a squirrel warren the entire time, and a lot of his squirrels and toad reinforcements would have just got caught in the wire if they even made it across the whole place in time. Now the badger is out and paid for, out. It doesn't have much support, but it shouldn't matter. Especially not with the way Pingu's bringing his army in like a single fire line. You need it all as a mob, so it's all hitting the badger at the same time. You need to get out of there. The badger's revved up. You can't fight a revved up badger with just a couple of squirrels and a falcon. I think that fight right there completely changed the game. Pingu lost huge amounts of value. He can't attack because Kerper's ahead on army, so Kerper can just stay here and eco up ahead of Pingu, while Pingu's having to put all this money into rebuilding his army. Honestly, I don't know why Pingu's still got the toads. They're not going to contribute anything against the badger. And there's only 9 squirrels. He's not dealing with massive numbers of tier 1. It looks like he wants to go for a wolf. He does not have the eco to support it. He needs to just pump out tier 1, more squirrels, so he can gun that badger down, because the badger only has 3 pigeons just to heal it, and only 9 squirrels to support it. That's not a lot. Like, a badger needs stuff to tank for it, because it starts the fight slow, and then it revs up. So it needs stuff that because it's not just like the badger can stay in the fight and rev up while taking damage, but that means when you're at full rev, where you really want to be pushing with it, you don't have enough health to play with. You need to retreat much sooner, so you get much less value out of it. Pingu sells the worst. Pingu sells at the wrong time, and he sells the wrong unit. He sells the squirrels for more falcons, right in view of Kerper. Kerper knows that he's got an opening, or at the very least he's got a full minute where he doesn't have to worry about attack. Hey Melvin. Got some of your games on here if you want to stick around. Okay, Kerper's not falling for the mines. Pingu is taking a really bad fight. The Badger just gets revved up nice and easily, and that's GG. Like, Pingu's not going to surrender. There he is. Yeah, so that was game one. So that was game one. We got some meat games, we got some evil Exnor games, we got the Kerper Pingu set, then we got Melvin Fleur, Scav QQ, and Space Nut Devil himself. I think I'll go Kerper into Melvin. Maybe save the meats for last. I do like a good meat game. Yeah. I'll do the Melvins next since Melvin is here, but let's finish this series first. Alright, so we got Squirrel Lizard, Falcon Skunk, Wolf Mine against Squirrel Mole, Falcon Skunk, Owl, Machine Gun. Kerper changed his deck up, which isn't usual for the person, you know, who's winning. Unless they're anticipating, like, their opponent to counterpick, so they're trying to counter the counter, or unless they feel so comfortable that they just want to mess around. I think it might be the latter in this case. Kerper is like the favoured player over Pingu. Oh, good night Zard, wherever you are. I mean, no one picked me to cast, I just did it. You can DM me something about the matches. Like, I don't want to have the results spoiled for me. I'll probably wait until the end, until the match is over before I read it. But is it like just a condition these games were done under? Like, were you talking on voice chat? Did you like have unit bans or something? Or is it like the actual result? Or like, oh, don't judge me for losing, my cat was having a heart attack at the same time. Or some stuff like that. Pingu coming out with the aggression again. Needs to hit the squirrels. That's good. That's good. Okay, he's taking a bit of time to finish this war run off, but I think he can afford it. Okay, is he going to get this pig? His commander goes down, which isn't great, but he is able to get a pig. He can keep up this momentum. He's going into tier 2 rather than a farm. He should keep this momentum up. Go, 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 go. He's waiting. Honestly, Pingu didn't need to go Falcon here. He'd probably be better off going just more tier 1 and keeping the pressure on. Or, if he was going to go tier 2, go Skunk instead, because that Kerper is going to be trapped on tier 1 for a while now, if he has to rebuild this farm and that one while getting his army back up. So that, and the Skunks do better against only tier 1, so Pingu could have set himself up to an advantage here. Instead he's gone for Falcons, which, you know, will scale better as we get later into the game. It looks like Pingu's not going to try and push his luck by another attack. He's just going to sort of expand. Ooh, this... Luckily for Pingu, he didn't micro his Falcon properly, so it was able to pick off the mole. Kerper using the burrow to mole mechanic. Honestly, Pingu, you might want to put a mine up here just so you can keep that scouted. Just 20 food to make sure you don't get mold from the back might be worth it. Okay, is Pingu going to move in? He's got a significant army advantage. Less significant, just as he's going to come in. But if he just hits the squirrels, then there's nothing to kill these falcons. But no, he changes a bunch of squirrels spawn, he changes the targeting, he goes in too far for the skunk. If the skunk's retreating that far, he can just clear out the pigs. Falcons clear out pigs like that. It takes like a couple of seconds. So a bit of a blunder there by Pingu. Started off well, but he could have had Kerper finished, I think. Now, Pingu going for double Falcon while Kerper's going for Falcon Skunk. The Lizards will actually help out Pingu quite a bit here. Lizards are the best tier 1 against tier 2s. Apart from Chameleons. Chameleons just... Well, actually I don't know about that. I don't know, squirrels don't do well against cams either, but they can in theory kite. Alright, so economies ended up even. Kerper kind of wants to push, but is probably worried about mines. He knows Pingu likes mine. Pingu going hard on the Falcon count. That's actually probably really good for him. He just needs to make sure he hits the opponent's Falcons and their squirrels. Make sure he kills the stuff that can shoot up. Because the moles can't shoot up and the skunks can't shoot up. Yeah. A good trade for Pingu. Actually, it was about even. Slightly better, maybe. Although actually, he started out so kind of dead even. Is the game too loud? Is the game sound too loud for anyone else? I've changed my... Okay, so Pingu coming back in. He's focusing on the right stuff. Last pig! Oh, whatever, that pig's gonna die in like 10 seconds anyway. Still. Pingu, I mean, he wasn't... I don't know what he was doing with that Falcon, it didn't seem to be shooting anything. So yeah, audio's a bit weird for me because I've changed my headphones. So now, I've changed from my broken set of headphones into a mostly functional set of earphones, which means that everything is a lot harder, a lot louder and a lot harsher. Feels weird. So I'm just trying to get used to the settings again, I suppose. Anyway, Pingu wants to go again. Looks like he's sold out. He needs to keep up killing these. Yeah, kill everything that shoots up. I wonder why Kerper stuck with the skunks for so long. I never actually addressed this, but the skunks for Kerper haven't been doing anything in like the last 3 fights. Like the squirrels for Pingu are just not the threat. He just needs something to... He needs as many squirrels as possible so he can gun down those falcons. Either way, though, we're at 1-1. Let's see game 3. So, Squirrel, Lizard, Falcon, Skunk, Wolf, Mine, Pingu staying with the exact same deck. Kerper swapping it up again. Squirrel, Pigeon, Falcon, Cam, Fox, Balloon. It's an interesting deck for Kerper. Oh, and this is an interesting adjustment. He's going 5 farm into a Warren. That makes sense. Pingu caught him off guard with the rush last time. He attempted it the first game, but it didn't work out. But either way, Pingu has shown that he likes to play aggressive in the early game, so Kerper's just preempting that. In fact, Kerper might want to be aggressive here. He's sending a squirrel out. We saw this happen in the first game. One squirrel went out and blew up on one mine and changed nothing for no one. There is probably a place you can put that squirrel where it can hit the pig without triggering the mine, but it'd be much easier to just clear the mine. That said, Kerper obviously doesn't know this, and look at how long the distance is between these two mills. Aggression is really, like, kind of hard on a map this long. Hello, Stretch. How's it going? Let's talk about mills, because we haven't talked about that in any of the other games. Because stuff kept happening. These players aren't content to just wait until 16 farms before they go. Is Kerper going straight for a fox? He's saving up a lot of food. Hang on. I know, so... Ah, no, he goes for cams. I mean, a quick fox is not great, but I would love to see it. And a very forward Falcon Warren. Like, if you put this Falcon Warren on the high ground, you're not losing any time. The Falcons can just fly over the cliff. So not where I'd put it, but feels very vulnerable there. But Pingu's going to take one of these two mills anyway, so this will be behind his front lines. He has to hold, like, sort of around where this mine is, in the middle of the map. If he can get a good position here, though, then he can take all three of these mills and this fourth in the corner. That's not actually as big an advantage as it sounds, since Kerper's going to have his own 3 expansions himself. So that would only give him a 1 mil advantage, but that's still a mil of advantage. But we very rarely get games that go up to that many mils. Usually, if you can both get 2 mils, you can fight evenly. You have a chance of winning the game. Sometimes you do get maps that are just completely one-sided, but they're much rarer than they used to be, and a lot of the time it comes down to just the person not playing the map properly and responding to their environment. Okay, so Kerper trying to do some cam shenanigans. Has to dodge the mines to make sure they're not revealed. Pingu not having microed, well, he ruined it, but it was actually quite good for him that he hadn't microed his army, because it meant that all the units were still sitting on their roads. Oh, that's really bad. I'll say if the commander goes down, so these are going to decloak as soon as they can. And that means these cannons die for free. That is 120 food Kerper just lost with no contest. Like, I don't think not a single unit went down for Pingu. This lizard got a boo-boo, but it's already healed back up. And now Pingu definitely wants to attack here. Since this lizard's in a bit too soon, but you know what, it shouldn't even matter. Yeah, Kerper just got too far behind in that, losing the cams. That's a quick game 3 for Pingu, so it's 2-1 for Pingu. And Pingu finally making a change. He drops the wolf for the owl, which won't change much about his deck. He's essentially running the this guy deck, except with the lizards instead of moles. But with the mole nerf, maybe that's what you want to do. Okay, so Squirrel, Lizard, Falcon, Cam, Boar, YF for Kerper. He's changing it up a little, but this is by and large the same deck, just with a different tier 3. Oh, and Kerper going for double lizards. 4 farm double lizard. Pingu's going to scout it very quickly and has already got a 5 farm squirrel warren down. So I don't fancy this working for Kerper. And Pingu should be able to hold this quite easily. And I mean, there are 2 avenues of attack. Kerper can come in around here or around here, but the water will slow him down a bit here, and there's not much distance between them, so Pingu should be able to respond. I mean, frankly, if Pingu just leaves his army, basically moves it a bit closer to this side, then he can pretty much cover both at once. Hello, Ziggy. How you been? Oh, that Warren placement drives me insane. Oh, I hate that. It's like when you see a car that instead of parked in the box, is parked over the line, so it's taking up both spaces. If you moved that lizard Warren up or down one, you could fit an extra Warren in there, and it is... Ooh, this is just evil for me. Pingu still on 7 farms, Kerpa's still on 7 farms. Yeah, we've already got, I think, is it Melvin or Aralu? Other players have admitted that if they know I'm going to cast a game, they will deliberately do shit like this just to wind me up. Which I always suspected was the real reason behind it. So Kerpa's sticking with just the lizards, and he's starting to get up to a dangerous number. If he gets up to 15 is the traditional magic number for lizards, where you can dive into a full health mill and kill it before your opponent has a chance to stop you. Like, the pigs aren't enough to just whittle the lizards down. I think technically you can do it with 12, but it means that you'll be like the last 30 hit points will be like 3 lizards on like 1 HP or something. It will go slow. 15 is the one you want to really just jump in there and get it. Kerpa finally diversifying his portfolio though, bringing out some squirrels. Was bringing out some cams, but sells them when they get scouted. Pingu doesn't scout the cell, so doesn't know that there's a boar. Is expecting cams. Doesn't know about the tier 3. He's building Mass Falcon though, so he's got his answer to the boar, already. 200 IQ placement space to counter toads. I mean, I suppose you can't blow up on that back Warren. If you hit any of the forward Warrens, the back Warren will be safe. But, that's... If you can get toads on that lizard Warren anyway, you've pretty much won the game. Alright, so we get a bit of lizard v lizard fight. Pingu brings in the falcons to help out. Kerpa sold his boar, and just went for his own Mass Falcon. To be honest, I mean, that's probably the right call. I hate selling tier 3s, especially unscouted tier 3s, but he needs falcons to deal with this. Pingu probably was going to attack before the boar came out anyway. He needs stuff that can shoot up. The lizards will help a lot here. Lizards are really good at picking off falcons, but he could probably afford to have more squirrels. Pingu, both players floating quite a lot of food. Finally starting to expand after the fallow time, because both players neither players felt confident enough to expand, because both players, like, Pingu has been about to attack for like the last 3 minutes, but he's just never quite pulled the trigger. I'm getting the sense that there was some definite paranoia going on both sides, Pingu. Kerpa's still just moseying around with his lizards. He's put down an extra farm, so that will help him should it go to eco. And because he was so much slower to get his main base up to 8 farms, he's actually still got some of them farming. So he's ahead on the farm count. Will even out before too long. Kerpa is just meticulously scouting for mines. You don't do that unless you're very worried about them, which of course he is. Both players on 6 falcons. Pingu got a couple of skunks out as well. I don't like that the lizards are this far forward, because they're separate. Like, this is basically going to be 2 separate fights for Kerpa. finally his Falcon flop comes, but now all the lizards and stuff have died. Is it going to be enough with the mill tanking? It is just... That mill tanked a lot of damage, and that Falcon at 1 HP. Honestly, Pingu, that is a type of tier 2 where you just dive in with your lizards. Like, catch that Falcon. It's so big if you catch that Falcon. Yeah, you get it. Oh, he's going to go for the mill. He's going to try and fight this out. It was the wrong call. Oh, was it the wrong call? He loses a skunk, so yeah, it was. If he'd killed the Falcon and kept his skunk alive, he would have had a positive, like, tier 2 count, but instead they trade. I understand why, though. He was very keen to get that mill, and it looked like he might have an opportunity. Alright, so both players getting their Falcon count back up. Pingu, 1 farm behind. Going to be too soon as Kerper's going double on this mill, which is brave. Like, that mill is at half health. It's already been gunned down significantly. But if Kerper can avoid getting his army that separated for the next engagement, he should do better. He already managed to hold, and that was with a poor engagement. So yeah, if he just rallies and keeps his army together for the next attack, he should be fine. Now Kerper is significantly ahead. Pingu has just not been putting any farms on this second mill, which he should have. As soon as he saw Kerper going for all this wire, he should have said, I either attack now or eco up now. Because this is a sign that Kerper's worried. And Kerper doesn't want to fight. It's also just, you know, RTS basics. If they attack, you defend. If they defend, you eco. If they eco, you attack. You know, it's a rock, paper, scissors triangle. So Pingu really needs to catch up on eco, but he's gonna struggle with that. In fact, he's so far behind economically, he probably needs to attack, which it looks like that's what he's doing. He does walk through the wire, he guns down a couple of farms very quickly. This is poor Micro. He needs to be focused firing with those Falcons, with his Falcons, but he doesn't. Poor Micro for Pingu there. He didn't focus down the Falcons. Just let your skunks do what they do. And this is going to be GG. Okay, that was game 4, and we're tied up 2-2. I don't know why this is a best of 7, and some of the other games are best of 5. No idea, but well, it doesn't matter, does it? Yeah, Pingu, you've got to. You're still doing the thing where you only rally all. You don't micro individual units. I'm seeing a lot of people do that in this tournament, and I'll be honest. If you've been playing this game for more than, I was going to say a year, but honestly, if you've been playing this game for more than a month, there's really no excuse to do that. I mean, I'm not going to complain. If we go to game 7, we go to game 7. Anyway, Kerper bringing out a ferret. He's dropped his chameleons. Kept his owl, kept his falcon. Okay, so 6 and 7. Well, spoilers. I mean, if we turn into 6 and 7 and they turn out to be dummy games, then they're dummy games. But I mean, you've kind of just revealed. Well, I guess you haven't revealed who wins because you're tied. getting a strong Kerper 1 this vibe from you at the moment. Reading between the lines. But you know what, that is just kind of going with the bookie's favourite, so it's not too much of a spoiler. And let's see, because Pingu is setting up very aggressively again, which is not great against ferrets. Like, a ferret is gonna love this. Like, nice, juicy, vulnerable forward warrens that it can poke from a nice safe distance. Kerper isn't going for ferrets first though, he's going for falcons. And I'm not a good enough ferret player to know if that's the right move. I am notoriously bad with ferrets. Moles, ferrets and foxes are my worst units in this entire game by a long shot. I just don't get them. And they never seem to do as well for me as they do for everyone else. But if Kerper takes this mill, which he has, and if he can get this wire set up, well, that's a bit farther back. Honestly, wire and ferrets don't really complement each other very well. Pingu just not giving a fuck and just tanking it. Just face tanking it, and he doesn't lose any units for it, so... You know, that's a free 60 food he's just picked up. Still no ferrets for me. Kerper is in a position to really do some work with the ferrets. Like, the ferret can hit that squirrel warren from probably all the way back here. Like, ferrets have really long range. But, I was saying, wire doesn't really help the ferrets because the wire slows you down as well, so it's going to slow you down, pulling your ferrets back. And often, your opponent will have some units that have the range to hit the ferret from without walking into the wire. Like, you don't need to chase ferrets down to beat them, you just need to chase them off. So if the ferret, like, retreats so far back that you have to walk into the wire to hit it, you just don't walk into the wire. And you just go back and say, okay, ferrets are god. Let's go equal up. Oh, the ferrets are coming back, I'll chase them off again. I'll get in some hits while they trudge slowly through their own wire. And then, oh no, he'll turn and fight me? Well, I can hit him, I've got enough range to hit him without stepping into the wire. Oh look, a ferret is dead. Let's pull the other one back. Now the ferret can't do anything to me, so I pull back. You know, that's kind of how wire ferret works. But again, not a good ferret player. So, take it with a grain of salt. Although I am, what's my hour count now? 2,355.7. We're soon going to be coming up to 100 full days of Tooth and Tail content, like, of Tooth and Tail played, which is crazy. His commander goes down. Pingu has the better arm in it, but now he can't micro. And he really needs to be focusing down these falcons. No, he's retreating! Oh my god, he had it anyway. I guess the advantage of Pingu's no micro strat is that when his commander dies, his army doesn't care. Okay, he's chasing him down. These ferrets aren't doing anything at the moment. Pingu is absolutely fighting that mill. It's looking like it's a Pingu victory. When do you get to play? I sign up for every Pocket Bot Cup. That adds up. I mean, I gotta say, the rate of game time has slowed down immensely over the last year or two. Like, everyone's feeling the squeeze. But, you know, it is what it is. Now, Kerper in Starvation, he's got one more Desperate Soul. Yeah, and also, yeah, not all of it is in-game. Some of it is going to be smuggling, and a lot of it is going to be casting. That's, you know, still, you do learn from casting, taking a bird's eye view. So that's Kerper with a victory. GG's. Well done. Did I say Kerper? I meant Pingu with a victory. Whoops. Sorry. So what was game 6? More Pingu Kerper. Wait, hang on. This is a... Did we see this game? No. The last 2 games don't count, say you. I want to see. I want to see what happens. I'm guessing, since you're so insistent it's a best of 5, that Kerper wins. But, you know, I thought Kerper was going to win the last game, so let's have a look. I mean, okay, we'll do a bit of fast forwarding through these games because they technically don't count. And I've got to say, we've got a lot to go through. And last time I was doing a big cast like this, like the ending of it was shit. I mean, I completely lost focus. I was like tabbed out. Even when I was looking at the game, I wasn't doing it. I was just completely zoned out, completely spaced, thinking of other stuff, and like a fight would happen, and I'd be like, whoa, what's happening? Oh wait, there's a fight going on here, and I just have to go, something happened. Anyway, so expansion from both players getting out their falcons, no early aggro, a very safe base for Kerper. Although perhaps Pingu can just bring his falcons round and do some high ground harassment. There is space to do that, and Kerper is watching it. Yeah, this is actually, if I was playing against Sasha loves to harass up cliffs. So if I was playing against Sasha, I'd maybe consider not taking this mid at all, or at least like putting a balloon or something down there. I don't know, it's a very hard thing to defend. I mean, Kerper lost in the last game because Pingu used the ancient technique of walking around the defences rather than through them. Caught Kerper completely by surprise. Ugh. Kerper going for an L, floating a lot of food as well, like a lot of food. Is he just going to put down like 1 billion moles somewhere? Like, he needs 180 for the hour, but that's still going to leave him with over 300. Honestly, yeah, I was going to say he should just put down more owls. Yeah, the walk around. It is surprising how many people don't do it. Like, really, like, there's something in your head where you see, like, some place that's really fortified, and because all the stuff is there, you get tunnel visioned on it. You just start thinking, like, how do I break through that? Oh god, it's got more machine guns. How am I going to break through? Oh, maybe I wish I had ferrets, then I could do this, but I don't. So what am I? And you completely miss the option that you don't actually have to go that way. You just go where the defense isn't. And it is a really obvious thing to say, but when you're actually in it, you do just get so tunnel visioned on it that you completely forget walking around is an option. Alright, so Pingu, with the really brave expansion out here, was probably hoping for a ninja mill, but it has been scouted. Kerper can very quickly take care of this. In fact, I'm kind of surprised he hasn't. Now, Kerper going up to 3 owls. Pingu has his wolf building with a massive falcon flock. Okay, this should be a dead mill. I'm wondering if Kerper was worried like the Pingu would come over here with his falcons, maybe? It's probably his best avenue of attack. 18 wolf buff falcons against 14 falcons and 3 owls. I mean, honestly, if Pingu would just set up here, he'd have a much better chance at just whittling Kerper down. It's hard to play the long game against owls, but that might be Pingu's only option at this point. Oh, his army is completely disorganized. What are you doing? Like, look at how many of his units just aren't in the fight. That's a terrible engagement by Pingu. That was a really, really bad engagement by Pingu. And that's going to be GG. The owls just absolutely snowballed from here. But okay, so Pingu needed to get his army together here with the wolf. He really needed an extra set of skunks as well to help deal with the mice or more squirrels. And he needed to try and hold this mill. The mice would be slowed down walking through the water, which wouldn't affect Pingu with his wolf buff and his falcon flock. So he could gun them down pretty quickly and then hopefully go in with the superior firepower. The only problem is the larger falcon flock. Well, he had the larger falcon flock, so he should have been able to win if he got rid of the mice tanking. But yeah, like I said, he went in where so much of his army was still coming in. Like, he hadn't timed it right, because he didn't wait for his units to catch up to the units that were wolf buffed and were moving faster. He just went straight in. Alright. Game 7 of Kerper Pingu. Pingu won the best of 5. Is Kerper going to win the best of 7? Sneaky mole, and okay, that's actually a good placement for a mole, because the warren is on the complete opposite side, so it can't really defend it. Although by the same token, the mole is going to struggle to attack. Actually, no, the mole isn't. The mole can just walk past this pig. What's the pig going to do? The pig is going to lightly tickle it. Like, Kerper should have absolutely just taken his mole and walked over to kill this warren. Lost his opportunity now, though. The last map didn't look like it would have been a ton of fun to play on. Or it looked like it would have been tense. That's a good way to put it, I think. So is either player going to move out? No, it looks like they're both going to sit and wait. Pingu's probably got the map advantage here. Like, these two mills are very safe for him, and then these three are also quite close by, whereas Kerper's kind of just squeezed onto these two. Oh, sorry, wrong way around again. Pingu is squeezed onto these two, while Kerper guaranteed has these two, and probably has these three. At least two of these three. This one is the only contentious mill. So a significant mill count advantage for Kerper. And Pingu also has to expand forward, whereas Kerper can expand backwards. So Pingu's stuff is going to be at more risk. Okay, Pingu wants to come in. This is likely going to be. He gets a Warren. He's holding his toads. There's not a lot of them. One of them goes off. It's not enough. I don't know why he's retreating. He probably didn't need to. Probably would have been better, or at least doing a fighting retreat rather than a straight run. But the real problem is that Kerper now has skunks, and Pingu's stuck on to the right. Like, Pingu is really far behind in tempo now. Kerper already has a pretty sizable army. He's carefully using his skunk to check for mines. He finds one. Hold it back. Toads just run into the moles. And the skunk plus squirrel beats just squirrel. Always has. Always will. Pingu has his own skunk now, but kind of the damage has been done here. Like, this is so much infrastructure damage. Like, what was that? 3-4 Warrens? And Kerper just takes a couple of steps back to regroup with reinforcements, and dies back in again. Also, his lines go down even quicker. Kerper does win the best of 7. So, I mean, honestly, who won overall depends on if these games are in order or not. But Pingu takes the best of 5, Kerper takes the best of 7. I think the best of 5 is the only one they count. But it's a nice consolation prize. Everyone's rusty, Pingu. It's kind of been a problem, is that everyone's rusty. Okay, I kind of want to go for get the other best of 7 done. But I did tell Melvin that we'd do his game, so let's have a look at Melvin. Melvin against Fleur. This is actually like a top 5 clash, probably. Like, Fleur is a serious contender these days. Alright, so, Melvin. Squirrel, Pigeon, Falcon, Skunk, Badger out. Badger, Fox. Squirrel, Mole. Ferret, Falcon, Skunk, Snake. Badger Fox is a combo you don't get to see a lot in action. I think Melvin is the only person who actually seriously runs it. Fleur, I gotta admit, I don't know much about his playstyle, but at the moment, no tier 3 is what stands out. I used to do some tier 2 only. I'm not a big, like, I love my tier 3s, I do, so I would very rarely not take any. I always just feel vulnerable. Like, theoretically, with tier 2s, they scale up enough that you can, especially the Falcons, you can just sort of quasi tier 3 it with just, you know, like 20 falcons, but I always feel I feel naked. Tier 3, too much micro. Well, Pingu, your standards for micro have not been high so far. But with Melvin's, I'd agree. Badger and Fox are... The tier 3s in general tend to be quite micro-intensive. And the Badger and the Fox are probably the best examples of that. Like, the Badger has Agile, so you want to be, like, keeping it just on the edge of its minigun range, so it can hit stuff that can't hit it, but it's constantly firing and building up speed. The Fox, you need to. It's very important that you get its shots on the right units. I've seen so many Foxes come into a fight, they shoot 2 moles, and then they get gunned down by a bunch of Falcons. You need to make sure the Fox is hitting, you know, the valuable tier 2. I think the strategy with Badger Fox is that you don't actually try and micro both of them, is that you just leave your Fox like sort of at the back of your army and you just let it do its thing, and you just micro the Badger, because they can't sort of... The fact that you've got the Badger there means it's very hard for them to just dive onto the Fox, which is the usual way of countering it. Because the Fox, every time it shoots, it gets rooted to the ground for like a couple of seconds. So usually, if you move in with a Fox, you'll see people just like run straight through the army and just hold down rally on the Fox, and they're just like kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. Because Fox only has 25 health. It's not a lot. It's less than most tier 2s. So yeah, the strategy with Badger Fox is to only really micro the Badger and just keep the Fox at the back. I don't know how Fleur's going to deal with it. Fleur at the moment, he's only got the Badger to deal with, and he's got 4 snakes, so he can probably handle that if he gets the tags on it. Here we go. That Badger is just baiting the snakes further and further back, but Fleur stays in for just the right amount of time. Basically everything but the Badger dies. Well, the pigeons don't either. Like the Badger, I think Fleur won that fight because they traded tier 1s pretty much, and I think Melvin lost a skunk. Now, Mass Falcon is another good way to deal with Badger, because, like I said before, you just gun it down before it can rev up. So, 6 Falcons, 4 Snakes, 15 Squirrels. That Badger is in a tenuous position. Melvin going for double Skunks, which was actually what I was about to say he probably wants to do, because he probably wants to take as many of those Squirrels down as possible, so that his Badger or his Squirrels are hitting the tier 2s instead. Because at the moment both players are kind of running a glass cannon type of build, where there's not a lot of health on their side of the field. Like Melvin's health is inflated by the pigeon healing, and they're both kind of using the skunks as tanks. Alright, Fleur's coming in. Is he going to commit? He's going to commit. Is he? No. He's been really scared about this gas. He's going to pick off a pig at least. I don't know why Fleur's so scared about this gas. He has the army advantage. I guess it's easier from our position. And Fleur, I mean, Melvin is known for his crazy defensive holds, so it's hard to commit to an attack on him. Fleur going to get out some ferrets so he can do some poking, and probably he wants to provoke an engagement. He wants Melvin to attack him. Seems to be what he wants. Is he going to be able to get that? Melvin is taking a third base. He's got a fourth one right here. Fleur can take this space or this space. But his line gets very stretched out. He should be able to defend them. Defending both is harder, but he should be able to get a third mill. Melvin has just gone really greedy. This is 300 food that is not contributing anything to the fight, so it's time for Fleur to go. He's got his ferrets, he's doing some poking. The Badger has to fight here. I think Melvin's been too greedy. Just take it. Badger's alone. Just turn around and kill it. Just turn around and kill the Badger. Okay. Turns around and kills the Badger. He kills him. Melvin too greedy with that third base, and Fleur takes game 1. I might not get through all of these games tonight. I will do as many as I can, but I can't guarantee. Oh, I like this deck from Fleur. Squirrel, Falcon, Skunk, Boar, Badger, Wolf. The Boar, Badger, Wolf, I love that. Love that combo. I actually used to run that combo a lot. But it's very hard to get going in tournament games, and this is on the patch where they've increased the tier 3 build time as well, so it's going to be even harder. I don't want to fast forward through too much, because you get complacent when you fast forward and you miss stuff, and there's no rewind feature in this. There's a lot of times where I've been fast forwarding because I assumed nothing would happen, and then I'll miss like a sneaky mole placement or something. But this is a Melvin game. Those tend to have a pretty slow opening. So yeah, let's go double speed for a bit. There's nothing too fancy going on at the moment. I really want to see the multiple tier 3s come out. For either side, I want to see the Badger Fox, and I want to see the Boar Wolf Badger. Now, an interesting thing Fleur's done is that he's not taken pigeons with his build. Boar and Badger both love pigeons, because the Boar has so much health to work with, and the Badger can make so much use of its health if it can stay in the fight. So both of them, really like healing. So if I was Fleur, I probably would have cut either the Falcons or the Skunks. I mean, I feel like you don't really need the Skunk if you've got the Boar, and you don't really need the Falcons if you've got a Wolf buff Badger. They'll solid him up in they'll keep him solid in the mid game, but as we go into the late game, they'll fall off a long way. Okay, Fox down for Melvin. Both players expanding. Both players getting some alright scouting. Fleur not getting that tier 3 scout, which is a big deal. But really, if you're playing Melvin, you have to expect a tier 3 around this time. Maybe Fleur hasn't been checking his matchup sheets. He does get the scout on it, but the Fox is already mostly done. Now, Mass tier 1. Mass Squirrel is a fairly good answer to Fox. It's just a matter of, there's also a load of Squirrels and Skunks. So we'll have to see how this goes. It might come down to micro. Melvin retreating. If I was Fleur, I'd just keep up the attack. Now, defender's advantage, standing in the warrants, that's really good for the Fox. A lot of these units for Melvin are already low health. Oh, that Skunk Gas though is just creaming Fleur. And now this fox is in its favourite position. There's not enough army for your opponent to jump on it. It's picking off pigs and tier 2s. Fleur needs to get some stuff sold, but he's also trying to micro his stuff so that he doesn't lose. It's hard for him to run back and sell. Like, he wants to sell like a skunk or a falcon woman at this point. But he feels like if he stops babysitting his units for a moment, they'll die. Okay, so Melvin takes game 2. We're already on to game 3. And I'm just gonna turn that down 1. No. Resume. Alright, so we've got Wolf Badger coming out for Melvin. The Fox Cacher has its limelight, comes out. I mean, I'd say won the game, but I think honestly it was Skunks that did it for Melvin. But, you know, Fleur probably wouldn't have had all those squirrels if it wasn't for the fact the Fox was in Melvin's deck, so... although the Fox never got scouted, so Fleur was probably thinking it was a Badger. But fuck it, let's say it was the Fox that won that game. Melvin decides that it's had its time. It's going to go for the Wolf Badger, which is a lot more, you know, by the book. Fleur fucking up his Warren positioning. Oh, at least, okay, I don't mind this. This is at least symmetrical. At least it looks deliberate, so I don't care about that too much. Fleur sticking with a triple tier 3. I was very surprised that he didn't try and put any of them down last game. He really should have predicted the tier 3 from Melvin. Speaking of Melvin, what the fuck is his map? If you're Melvin and you're playing this map, you come out and you see, like, this is your nearest mill? Like, your opponent's pocket expansion is the nearest mill to you? Like, I think it actually might be. This one's cutting it close, but I think this one might actually be closer, in the middle of the map, next to his opponent. That is wild. This is not the type of map Melvin wants to play. Melvin doesn't like one base games. He always tries to go for a second base, usually a third. He likes playing it long, going high eco, lots of macro. Okay, and now he's just trying to rush this Wolf Falcon comp up. If Fleur scouted this, if Fleur had scouted then, he absolutely could have just walked in and crushed Melvin. Like, Melvin has sold so much of his army. But this is the kind of thing you have to do on a map like this. You have to take those risks. You sell the Warrens. You sell the units so that you can use... Like, okay, so the way it works is a squirrel warren costs 60 food, and then each of the squirrels costs 20, so that's another 60 food right there. If you sell the warren, then you get that 60 food back, and all of that 60 food back, so that's 120 food, which means you can build 2 warrens. And that means that in, you know, in a minute, you'll have 6 squirrels instead of just 3. You need the time to, like, you need the building time for everything, which is why it's a risk, because if your opponent moves in while you're doing that, you don't have anything to defend with. But you'll if you do that, you'll have double the amount of squirrels of the person who just sat on their one warren. Is the theory, is what it is the practice. Let's just catch our breath for a moment, because I was talking about something else. So, we got the wolf out. I can't see if it was scouted or not. But Melvin has a huge army advantage here. Let's see if Fleur can hold. Wolf buff Falcons is not something you want to mess with, I believe. honestly, the wolf buff skunks aren't that kind of a nuisance as well. Especially when Fleur's trying to build up a lot of squirrels. Fucking hell, that's brave. Fleur putting a farm down in this mill. Is he going to get rewarded for it? I feel like, oh, nearly, just one falcon staying up. Oh, it goes down. Oh, that's so huge. Because the skunks can't do anything to the mill. They can gas the farm slowly, but like the wolf just increases with the skunks and the boar. The wolf increases the amount of area their attacks cover. It doesn't increase the actual, damage you take for standing in the gas or the fire. It just makes it cover a wider area. So you can see these pigs are able to just stand in skunk gas and survive. Now can Fleur repeat that? He needs to get these falcons done. He doesn't have a lot of mill tanking left. He strays too far from his mill. I was about to praise him for building that fourth farm on the half health mill while being under attack, but it didn't end up working out after all. Honestly, this is too much greed. This is Fleur's own fault. You can see how greedy he was with this mill. Like, he knows from this map that Melvin's going to find it very hard to expand. He needed to be prepared for one base all in, and he just wasn't. Like, if he'd just been able to keep this alive with 2 farms on it, that's all he needed, and he'd be, like, ahead. Now he's coming in again. Can he clean this up? He's cutting it close. If he gets all these falcons, hang on. Maybe there's still life in Fleur left. A corner tiger and all that. Okay, go up and kill the farms there. You are starving, but he's got the mill up. Don't attack the mill, attack the pigs. Oh my god, no, attack the pigs, not the mill. At some point he needs to go back and put down a farm. He needs to leave his army. He's just going to starve to death. That is a big misplay from Fleur. Like, he actually might have been able to bring that back. Because it doesn't matter that Melvin has the wolf if the wolf has no army to buff. And being on no farms, Melvin wouldn't have been able to pump out any units. If Fleur had just focus fired the pigs and then run back to put down a farm, I think he probably would have been able to win. He might have, and he shouldn't have been in that position anyway, because he shouldn't have been so greedy on his first expansion. But both of them nearly did work. He nearly got away with the greed on the mill, and he was nearly able to clear up Melvin's army. But still a bit of a throw from Fleur. Alright, so we're going to game 4. Melvin dropping the badger this time, going for Wolf Fox. Going for the ship, as I believe Ziggy calls it. I'll see you, Stretch. Check out the VOD later. Alright, Fleur still running with this triple tier 3. You know, considering Fleur has taken these triple tier 3s twice now, you'd think he'd actually want to play one of them. I'm being very harsh on Fleur. Maybe it's because he's French. But Melvin's French as well. But I guess Melvin isn't French presenting. You know, you don't get it from the name Melvin, whereas Fleur de Lis, really only one country he could come from. I mean, if we still had Gentleman around, I wonder how good the Gentleman would be at this if he came back. We could theoretically have like 3 out of the top 5 players be French. Isn't Fleur from Quebec, is he? Is he? I think he can play in the EU pocket bots. And I've never had like serious lag with him, so I assumed he was in Europe. I don't know, maybe, but going by his ping, I've always considered it, and like the sort of times he's around, I always thought he had to be European. I guess Quebec is on the east part of Canada, isn't it? So it's not really any further than like New York, or like, I mean, Sasha plays from Texas, so, and usually the connection's fine with him. Alright, Fleur standing at the back here and doing nothing suggests that he's about to put a tier 3 down. Which one is it? It's a wolf. Is Melvin going to scout it? He's going for it. He does. Okay. Now, is Melvin going to put down a tier 3? Yes, he is. Now, is Fleur going to put down a second tier 3? No, he goes for skunks. Oh, maybe. Hang on. Yeah, there's a badger. Okay, so we got wolf badger against wolf fox. It very much favours the. I mean, I'd say it favours the badger, but it is a close thing. Because the wolf buff fox has like more time to get shots off, or like it's easier for it to kite. But it doesn't change the range, so the badger is still able to chase it as effectively. In fact, more effectively. So even though it takes more damage, the badger usually gets to like single-digit health. Like tanks 3 fox shots and then kills it. Is usually how it goes. Oh, and we got the boar as well. We got the trio. Oh, we're gonna see it. We're gonna see all 5 tier 3s on the board. Alright. I hope so. Melvin selling completely out of tier 1, pumping out his falcons. All the tier 3s have been scouted. Fleur going for a second badger warren. He's got the wolf, so he can buff out his units quickly. Bit supply blocked, but sells a squirrel warren to deal with that. The badger's about to come out. The boar is only like 20 seconds away. Fleur taking a third base. Melvin taking a third. Looks like Melvin wants to come in. We'll be at 1 boar, 1 badger, 1 wolf. I mean, that mill, Fleur is happy to lose that mill just for the warning. Okay, so here we go. How well can Melvin kite here? The boar is probably going to tank for the badger. The boar goes down very quickly. The badger isn't revved. The badger doesn't get the wolf buff either. The wolf buff is on the wrong stuff, and Melvin's able to keep that fox alive, and it snipes down the fox as well. Oh my god. That is such a good engagement for Melvin. And now even Fleur's commander dies, so his units are just getting picked off by the fox. Now wolf buff fox, ooh, just clears. Oof. Fleur, it was the extra food he put into that. He put food into the badger, the extra badger that hadn't come out yet. So he was behind on army. I did think he was going to take it. I didn't expect the boar to go down that quickly. But I think the real nail in Fleur's coffin was the fact that the wolf buff wasn't on his tier 3, it was on his other units. Still, Fleur was close to winning in pretty much every game he lost, even if it doesn't look like it. A lot of the time, Tooth and Tail games are close, even if they don't look like it. Fleur was close to winning a lot of those, not just game 3. But that is a 3-1 victory for Melvin? I believe so. This should be a dummy. Yeah, Melvin versus CPU 0. Wait, is this the player CPU 0, or is it just okay, the guy isn't... I don't know, I'm curious, I want to see what happens. Let's see if Melvin commits to this. It looks like it's an actual player. No. Yeah, it's an actual player. CPUs don't sell. Okay, and I guess now's the mole. The squirrels are there. The base race is here. The pigs actually nearly defend that. The pigs nearly defend that themselves. Holy shit. Melvin nearly threw that. Okay, he wins the base race. Okay. We'll do Space Nut. No, will we? I've only got like 30 minutes to an hour. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to leave Space Nut. I'll leave Space Nut and Exnor. I'll do the Scav QQ, and then I'll do the Meek games. Alright, QQ versus Scav. And oh my god, both of these decks are so weird. So QQ, Squirrel, Pigeon, Badger, Fox, Machine Gun, Artillery. Love to see how this is going to work out. You don't see a lot of arty these days, but obviously the plan is something like build up a defensive wall and then build your tier 3s behind that to poke out of and jump behind whenever you're in danger. Scav with Squirrel, Lizard, Toad, Pigeon, Mole, Ferret. All 5 tier 1s and then Ferret. So clearly want to finish this in the sort of early to mid game. Yeah, I think this is just sort of a basic, as weird as the deck is, I think the strategy is going to be a very basic, get out like 9 squirrels, go into your ferrets, and then poke and poke and poke, and just hope to build up incremental value. The mole and the ferrets are going to be very good at stopping QQ's defensive structures. That's going to be huge. This mole, I don't imagine it gets this. No, it forces a cell. He's going to bring it round. He's going to try and attack the Warren. I think the pigs actually just kill this. Yeah. He can bring the second one, but by that point the squirrels will be out. Scav should have cut his losses there and just sold. It puts him 25 food behind. It's not a huge deal. Actually 30 food behind, because the other mole built as well. So 30 food, not the end of the world, but still you'd rather have it than not. QQ is feeling safe enough to do a full sell. He's going to put an arty down. Yeah, he does. This isn't a great map for what QQ wants, because there's a way in here and a way in here, so it's hard for him to cover both sides. Ooh, all these lizards coming through. Is QQ going to spot this? QQ needs to burrow back. QQ's just staying up there. Okay, he burrows back. That's 1 farm down, that's 2 farms down, that's 3 farms down, that's 4 farms down. Oh my. That is really bad for QQ. Now, he does kill some of the lizards. Look like 5 lizards maybe, and he is going to get his artillery up. But goddamn, that is not what you want to have happen. I don't know if an arty is going to be enough here. Oh. Is it? looks like the Artie is going to let QQ hold here, but you can tell like QQ's already kind of feeling the pressure on just fighting tier 1. When the ferrets come out, how is he going to handle that? And I'm surprised Scav hasn't instantly built ferrets. There we go. Okay, so QQ, you know, with his defender's advantage and the powerful artillery, he feels safe enough to just go hard into farms. So he's basically recovered from the economic damage he's just suffered. He's using his defences properly. He's relying on his defences rather than his units, so he's selling his units where he can to, you know, eco up. He just needs to be a bit cautious, because that might be a bit too greedy. Has he scouted the ferrets? He scouted a tier 2 one. Most players don't take ferrets, and they especially don't take ferrets as their only tier 2, so Scav is probably going to catch QQ unawares here. But we've already got the badger building for QQ. Ferret does... Oh, the ferret gets the machine gun, but it delays long enough for the farm to come up. Now this farm is still in, you know, ferret poking range. The ferrets can do it from outside of the range of the artillery cannon. QQ has to come out a bit. He's ferret dancing, but Scav is focus firing as well. So that is one farm down. And Scav is actually on 16 farms now. He fully saturated his second base. QQ is under a lot of pressure here, but if he can get this badger up with any sort of decent support, like a handful of squirrels, pigeons, and this badger, he can absolutely sweep Scav. Scav has nothing but squirrels and ferrets. The ferrets aren't going to do anything to the badger unless the ferrets get a really lucky shot. They won't do anything to the badger. 21 squirrels will cut through a badger quite quickly, but QQ still has enough eco up that he can get a decent amount of supporting units. The following happens, Scav goes down to 12 farms, QQ only on 7. QQ might be jumping the gun a bit here. Gotta be very cautious. Oh, the ferrets actually get a hit there. Okay, but this badger is absolutely rolling. I think Scav might be done. I think QQ's pulled it out. Like the Artie keeps him in the game long enough for him to get that badger up. Even though he took massive damage doing it, the Artie kept him alive long enough for the badger to come out, and Scav just did not have a counter for it. Look at the jump in the army graph when that badger comes up there at the 5.5 minute mark. That is insane. It says it all, doesn't it? Oh, good play by QQ. And, you know, round of applause for the hero artillery. You don't get to see artillery as much anymore, and you certainly don't get to see them be that instrumental. There is no other unit, I think, that would have saved QQ in that position. The artillery was the absolutely perfect unit for that spot. Loved it. Okay, so we got squirrel, lizard, ferret, boar, fox, mine. QQ not going to try and repeat his success with the artillery, which I don't blame him for. This is actually a deck QQ has run quite a bit. I'd say it's one of his more standard deck compositions. I've seen him run it without the squirrels before, and with barbed wire balloon instead of the mines. But it's the same basic principle. Scav, basically running this guy deck. Squirrel, pigeon, mole, falcon, skunk, wolf. You know, squirrel, pigeon, mole, falcon, skunk, tier 3. That is the guy deck. That is the TG. The TGD. Now, lizards, they do have this back path in, but it's pretty easy for Scav to scout. Not a great lizard map. could... I don't know. If we get to Boar Fox, I think if QQ can get both his tier 3s up, he'll win. That said, I mean, he's got to be cautious with it. A wolf buff Mass Falcon will cut through the boar quickly and then be able to jump on the fox. But I think with the lizards, the squirrel lizard combo backing up a boar fox, QQ will be pretty snappy at getting rid of those falcons. You know, actually, the more I think about it, the harder, in theory, I think the boar fox wins, but in practice, like, it relies on getting the right hits on the right units, and things never go that smoothly in practice. So so I think the wolf probably will win, but QQ has the theoretical edge. Now let's see how this goes with the lizards coming in. I mean, Scav just has more tier 1, but lizards trade much better against moles and squirrels these days. This is the right call by QQ to focus the squirrels, not the mole. The most a mole can do is put a few hits on that mill, which, who cares? Like, the squirrels are the ones that are killing your actual units. Moles only do 1 damage to units at the moment in this patch. I think that's how it works. I think they lost some of their raw DPS, but gained the crit on buildings. Like, they do higher. They already crit buildings, but I think now they crit buildings more. So they're still doing the same amount of damage to buildings, just less to units. I think that's how it works. Okay, but it looks like this mill might go down. I mean, honestly, QQ is probably happy to have it just tanking. That fight goes a lot better for Scav, though. Like, the lizards for QQ just weren't getting into the juicy squirrel underbelly of Scav, who is just mass squirreling his way to victory. The mill goes down. QQ hadn't invested anything in it, and honestly, he got more than 60 food worth of value out of it just for it being there to tank. So if I'm QQ, I think that's a perfectly acceptable trade, and I honestly consider just immediately taking that mill again. But we're at the 4-minute 30 mark. Farms are about to fallow. Maybe you take a safer one down here. I was thinking Scav was going to take this as a ninja mill, but he didn't go through with it. Now he's got his skunks building. He still has the massive tier 1 ball. QQ's getting a good concave here, and he brings the lizards in at the right moment. The skunks are out, but without any squirrels to back it up, they can't kill the army fast enough, and QQ gets 3 farms, all of which were still farming. No, he didn't hit any of the farms that were about to fallow, which is perfect for QQ. It's RNG based on which farms spawn and which ones you have to build, but it is huge for QQ, because if these were farms that were about to fallow, then the economy would actually be even right now. But as it stands, Scav is down to 1 farm, so unless he wins on this fight, he can't rebuild his army, and QQ, it looks like, is just going to take it. QQ playing a bit scared. He maybe isn't aware that his opponent doesn't have an extra mill somewhere. But, you know, he doesn't throw. He gets the win. Okay, maybe we will be able to get another set in, because this Scav QQ set is going much faster. QQ only just actually got knocked out of the proper tournament by Sasha. Like, he was a quarter-finalist. He's been doing very well this season. Scav was in my group. I think he got knocked out as well. I'm not sure if he actually went ahead. I think I actually stopped him from going ahead by with my famous victory. The where is it? The game Dell put up as craziest game of Tooth and Tail. Let's see. There it is. This one. Oh, and see, this is the type of thing. I missed that mole picking off the farm. Okay, I like this, putting the mole down to hit the campfire. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so Scav, I think I just about stopped him going up, and then QQ I think did go up, but then got knocked out by Sasha, which, you know, is fair. Sasha's the favourite to win the whole thing, and like not a close favourite either. Alright, so QQ, unperturbed by losing his farm, he just keep going, eco's up. He has quite a defensive base now that I look at it. Like, this is the only access point, it's like 3 tiles across. Like, a machine gun balloon here will hold this so effectively. Scav, I liked, I said I liked putting the mole down to just pick off a campfire so you can take it. It works even better nowadays because you can burrow to the mole warren, so you don't have to run all the way there. It means you can instantly sell it, instantly put the instantly put the campfire down, and then this is just, you know, an extra farm that's ticking away in the background all the time. So QQ, Scav has his wolf down. He's gonna possibly try and move in. There's no way he cracks it with just these squirrels though. He needs some serious like bulk if he wants to get through this choke. So he'll probably wait for the wolf, which has been scouted by QQ. Now the real problem for QQ is that he's only got 2 bases in this choke. If he had like, imagine this extended and there was like an extra mill here. Like, that would be perfect. Like, QQ would never have to leave. He could just build up his tier 3s. But as it stands, QQ has to try and take a 3rd base, which means moving out. Now, this is almost like a ninja expansion. Like, Scav hasn't actually scouted the mill here at all. If he does, though, it's still a little bit hard for him to deal with. Like, QQ would have to come out of his, you know, defensive position. Scav, importantly, getting the scout on both foxes there. But yeah, I'm not sure if QQ could hold this. He's kind of relying on Scav just not scouting it, at least until he gets this set up. You know, once all of these come up, again, this is the only entrance for Scav. So what's going to be curious here, there's a lot to talk about here, because QQ is stacking foxes, which you very rarely see. You very rarely see, because the foxes tend to just shoot at the same units, and basically what happens is you get four foxes and they all shoot 1 squirrel, and then are all frozen there for 2 seconds, and then they all get rushed down. But Scav's answer has been really smart. He's just gone mass cams. Like, the fox can't, like, oh my god, if the fox just runs out here, then it can just run into these cams while they're cloaked and get squashed instantly. Now, one good thing, the one bad thing about stacking cams like this is that it means that the multiple foxes is actually going to pay off, because now if they both hit the same unit, they'll hit a chameleon, which you actually need 2 shots to kill. So it's actually making the foxes more efficient. But then again, you've got the wolf on Scav's side, which means Scav's army is going to be so good at chasing down the foxes. So QQ wants to be like coming out of this defensive position to poke with his foxes, but he can't. He can't because he has to, because he doesn't know when he's going to run into a massive amount of cams, and he doesn't know when the wolf is just going to chase him down. Now this is cheeky from Scav, getting a bit of damage done there, but that, honestly, if I was QQ, I would like keep that, because this way you've got starvation farms, which you didn't have. I've just realised the 2 foxes for QQ, which nearly both died there, are the only units on his board that can move. He's building up ferrets. I like the ferret build up, because he basically needs to stop Scav from being able to build on this, and the ferrets can do it from all that way. And if the cams decloak, then finally your foxes can shoot them. And like the balloons are going to be giving QQ enough vision that he doesn't need to really expose his ferrets to much danger. In fact, he would like to get even closer. Like, even with 8 wolf buff cams, Scav is still going to be wary about pushing into here. Like, all of these balloons on the cliffs is going to be hard for him to deal with. If QQ can just get a balloon like 1 or 2 tiles further up, so he's got this mill fully in view, then he can even like start picking off units. Okay, so we're looking at starvation now, which is why Scav probably did QQ a favour by killing these 2 farms. I don't think that balloon will give QQ the vision he needs. I mean, Scav with the mass falcons and the skunks, like... The skunks? I don't know why he's got the skunks. The skunks don't help. I guess they absorb shots from the foxes, but they can't do anything against the defensive structures, and there's no tier 1 on QQ's side of the field. The skunks are just dead weight. Now, I like the mold coming out to like lure the ferret shots, and I like QQ bringing up his foxes just to snipe it and put an end to it. I like this wolf coming in, just brazen as you like, walking past all the snipers and getting away with it. And I really like QQ going up to 5 foxes, because 5 foxes is a magic number of foxes, because once you get to 5 foxes you can one-shot the commander. If all the fox hits land to the commander, then the commander will die, and then the foxes can just have the time of their life hitting the army, while the army just stands there going, well, we're under fire, but we've got no orders to move, so we're just going to stay here. And Scav keeps trying to take this mill. He needs to take this mill. He's down on 2 farms. He's even like, the campfire's even empty. This is such a strong position for QQ. Scav needs to like break it now or never, but and see right there, that was it. Scav's commander instantly died, and now the army's just going to sit here, and QQ can just get as much value as he likes. So this is QQ's deck working perfectly. He had such a good map for this build. Holy shit! Like the only like 3-tile choke point here, and then he was able to expand to like a 6-tile choke point. Like Scav, like basically the way to beat what QQ's doing right now is to not let him get this many defenses down. Like, you just need to not let them get into that position, because Because when they get into that position of like 20 machine guns and 12 balloons, there's just nothing you can do about it. So that's a very quick 3-0 for QQ. Which means I think we can do Evil Exnor. Yeah, we'll do Evil versus Exnor. I'm a bit put off by going for the last best of 7, but I also don't want to leave him out, so maybe I will do all of the games tonight. I can feel my voice starting to go though. Alright, so we got Squirrel, Pigeon, Falcon, Skunk, Cam, Badger against Squirrel, Mole, Falcon, Skunk, Wolf, Mine. Oh, and a cheeky little mole. Exnor C, is that right? He's just gonna sell. Looks like he's just gonna sell. Yeah. Murloc is committing to this. Oh, he gets a hit on the wrong pig. Wants to force another sell. Oh! So, you know, at least the sells for lower amounts of money. Okay, this is where the burrow back to Mole Warrens is so useful. You can come back and do this. That is such a good change. Okay, I think Exnor has not managed to get a single farm there. He's managed to, like, delay them and force sells, but he's lost a fair few moles doing it. Honestly, I think Exnor comes out ahead in that. Alright, Exnor coming in. Only got a couple of squirrels though, and Murloc is able to force a retreat. Oh, Murloc's gone back. Oh my god, is he going to get a tier 2 warren? No, he's not. The pig's just doing too much damage. Oh, these Murloc... These moles have not worked out for Murloc. The mole nerf is clearly hurting him. Chameleon positioning was a bit awkward there, but they do their job as tanks. Probably didn't need to lose both of them, but he took an unfortunate mine hit, and the other Cam insisted on walking behind Samluck's army before he started swinging. I'd say Murloc is ahead, but it just doesn't feel like it, does it? Like, the armies are even. Exnor's got even eco. Actually, maybe a bit more. In fact, Exnor's actually ahead in army. Murloc got supply blocked, so... Oh, you don't want that to happen. You don't want your Cams to be doing that. Alright, but they come in, the Cams just are so much better than Skunks in this engagement. Plus, it was that was such great unit positioning, the way they lined up with the Cams right in front and the squirrels at the edge of their range behind him in the semicircle. Great unit positioning, even if it... I'm assuming it wasn't on purpose, but even if it was accidental, it was a perfect accident. So Murloc actually loses a farm there. Is able to survive, but certainly not happy. So Exnor going to come in and just face tank these mines with his cams. They all survive. They both survive though. So that's a 360 food he's made there. 3 chameleons for 3 mines for no units. Who's going to be the first player to click the tier 3 button though? That's what I'm wondering now. Exnor really doesn't want to walk into this minefield. It's so much mine damage. Both of his cams die. But the Falcons stay alive and untouched, and that's enough. I thought Exnor was fucked there, but no, he actually, the mines weren't enough. I think it was because so many of I need to go back and review that to know exactly what went so wrong there for Murloc, because it looked like with those mines hit that he was like, you know, guaranteed going to win. I guess just the skunk cam combo, even with the. It looks like Murloc lost his squirrels very quickly, and I need to check how. Maybe just because Exnor had so many more. It seemed like a fair few of those died in the mine explosions as well. Maybe because Murloc, was still in his minefield, so a lot of Exnor's units were able to get DPS off before they exploded. I don't know. But this looks like it's just wrapping up now. Murloc can't really come back from this. And that's round 1 to Exnor. Alright. Squirrel, Falcon, Skunk, Cam, Wolf Mine against Squirrel, Mole, Falcon, Skunk, Wolf Mine. So, very similar decks. Oh, look at this here. Look at this lovely little square of mills for Murloc. And look at Exnor's expansion. He's got like this one sort of exposed mill and then another exposed mill. I guess he can come down and take these kind of safely, but there is an opening here for Murloc to come through. Anyway, speaking of Murloc, he's going for his mole shenanigans again. Let's see if it works this time. Oh my god, this game is so... I've been bugging Eel every time I see him to, like, you know, touch up the replay section of this game. Like, what I really want is, in the selection wheel at the beginning, like, let us scroll from the top to the bottom. You know, if I hit the bottom, if I'm on the bottom replay and I press down, I should go to the top replay. But what's actually happens is fucking nothing. It just stays there. And when you have a lot of replays, like I tend to do, you're just stuck with it. It's a fucking ball ache. You have to scroll through individually. And then you accidentally click on the wrong one to go out again and then scroll all the way back down. Because it doesn't take you out to the replay you selected, like where you selected it. It takes you out back to the top again every time. It's so annoying. I get that this is probably not the priority for a game that, you know, is floundering in the water. Let's be honest, for a game that is a game that has been dying for about the last 3-4 years, but I would appreciate it, because quite frankly it should have come like that. Like, I really get the sense that when Andy, I'm not talking about the game, I'm talking about the meta here, that Andy really didn't expect this game to be popular. Certainly not as popular as it actually was. But then you had a lot of good press. You had people like Total Biscuit and Artosis actually looking at the game and going, hey, this is actually pretty cool. And they've got big RTS focused audiences, so they were like, hey guys, you want a nice, easy, cheap RTS? Maybe pick this up. And I think there was a moment where this game really could have gone big, I think, if the devs had been like paying more attention, and if we'd managed to get just one decent... We had some streamers. What we needed was a YouTuber. That's how you bring people in. You needed someone to like make YouTube highlights, and it should have been me, but I couldn't be bothered, and I thought someone else would do it, and then I, you know, just ran out of time. And like, I get the sense Andy didn't want to think about it either. Like, the fact that there's no cross-play between the PlayStation and the PC. Like, it's just so, why not? Why is that not a thing? It used to be a thing, but then just one of the patches they decided, nah. It's like, why? And I mean, it probably wouldn't even matter now, because I doubt anyone is still playing this on PlayStation. So, yeah, you know, the fucking audience dried up. So, whenever you had a sale, where, like Day 9 did a thing on it, the Yogscast did a thing on it, whenever it's always on sale or part of a games bundle, like, when people saw those, and they got, you know, exposed to big audiences, and people thought, you know, oh, maybe I'll try this game out, the people would come on, hit multiplayer, and just be stuck in, like, an empty lobby, going, and they go, oh, well, I guess no one plays this game, and they'd log off, and they'd never touch it again. And that's really fucking sad, I think, because genuinely, this is possibly, like, my favourite game ever made. It's certainly got the most... It's got the most hours on Steam. I don't know if it's got the most hours of any game I've ever played, because, you know, no one was keeping track of all the games I played on the Wii or Game Boy, how many hours I spent on those. I imagine I've played one of the Pokemons, or one of the Marios, or Melee, or something more, but... The company that was managing the PS4 crossplay got bankrupt during the pandemic. Okay, so get someone else to do it. Surely that's an option. Like, if a company goes into bankruptcy, then they have to, like, at least connect you to someone who can continue to provide the services. You know, I'm shaky on my bankruptcy law, but I'm pretty confident that is how it works. That they have to, you know, say, oh, we've gone into bankruptcy, we can no longer provide this service, here is an alternate provider. Like, I am like 80 to 90% sure that is a legal requirement. Anyway, Murloc coming in with the wolf. Exnor's wolf not quite out yet. Okay, but it comes out just before any more damage is done. Murloc's lack of killer instinct is rearing its head again. He could have gone in before that wolf came out and got its buff out and done some serious damage. Like, it looks like it would have been a close fight. It would not. Because, you know, it's not linear. Like, these units would be shooting much faster, so more of these units would die. So by the time the wolf came out, there would be fewer things for it to buff, and the army would go from an even-numbered fight to a lopsided fight. Alright, but it looks like this time we are going to commit. It's all about the Falcons. It's all about the Falcons. And it looks like the Falcons for Exnor have the edge there. Hang on, how the fuck are 4 Falcons beating 12? I guess because Exnor's got 6 skunks and 21 squirrels that are just absorbing all of the Falcon fire. Actually, those 21 squirrels for Exnor are going to be a real problem for Samlock, because he's only got 2 skunks. Even with the wolf buff, and you ideally want the wolf buffing all your Falcons, not your skunks. That's going to take a while to chew through. Yeah, but the game wasn't just hanging in there. The game was healthy. At least I'm pretty sure the game was still healthy, as in you could go into ranked, hit play, and you'd have a decent chance of finding a game at any point. Like in when the pandemic happened. And also, like, the company doesn't care how many people are playing the game. They get paid to run the servers. They don't get paid commission based on how many people are using it. Anyway, this is fucked up for Murloc. He's gone through a choke point. He's going to get absolutely annihilated. Right, between that cliff there, which is kind of covered by the gas, so you can't see it well, but between this mill and this cliff and the plateau, like the little cross section, his army is like fighting each other for tiles. They're all taking damage from the gun gas of his opponent. It's just no way he wins this fight, and he didn't. He nearly killed his opponent's wolf, which could have turned it around. Like, Exnor nearly mismicroed his wolf and let it die. It's like 3 HP. But yeah, now that the gas and units are removed, you can see that there's not really a lot of space to walk through here. Also, the pandemic was the worst time. Like, if you wanted to keep your game alive or push it, like, the pandemic was the time. People were stuck inside with nothing to do. Like, you watch any of the speedrun charts, like, there is always like a massive spike in 2020 and 2021. Oh, Exnor's starving. How has that happened? Sorry, I've been talking too much about the actual development of this game. I haven't noticed that Exnor's starving. I don't know why he would be, though. I mean, I guess Samlock's only on this mill, but I guess he's been buffing his farms, so they've gone fallow quicker? I mean, that's 2 farms and a campfire one has gone through. Both players gone through 2 farms and a campfire, but it looks like Exnor never built up his 3rd mill. And Murloc did. So I thought like that we were just waiting for Exnor to win at this point, but no, Murloc just needs to survive. If Murloc survives like an extra, like basically this attack without losing this mill, probably wins the game. And Exnor's the one in the bad position here. Is he able to get? He keeps his wolf alive. That is great micro on that wolf to get it to tank and then pull it back. It's an even fight. It's an even fight again, but an even fight when you're ahead of an economy, an even fight is a win. So Exnor is now really going to struggle to rebuild. And Murloc, I think, is just going to push in. Yep, the army's nowhere there. He realises he can push in on this vulnerable hill. That's 180 food Exnor just lost. And Murloc takes it. Yeah, I don't know. The main reason I don't stream this game like daily anymore is because there's so much. It's much harder to, you know. It's because I can't just log on to ranked and chill out for like 2 hours. That was when I streamed this game like obsessively. Like I have the type of brain that really responds well to number goes up, score increases. So I would get like, I would say, oh, I'm going to play for just an hour, and then I'd lose a game and be on like 659 points, and I'm like, well, I can't end it there, so I'd keep going, and I'd keep going, but then I'd lose maybe a couple more, and then I'd be like, oh, well, I've now got to make it back, and then before you know it, like 3 hours have passed, and I'm like on 750 points, and I'm like, do I stop here, or do I go for 800? No, you don't, Pingu. Like, whenever, like, I would always just, like, even if I didn't watch people's streams, I would open it in the background just as a sign of support. But yeah, that was my favourite time playing Tooth and Tail. And I really miss it. And I would have had to do it less anyway. Like, another reason, I'm not streaming as much in general, just because I kind of, like, I had other stuff to do, and so I sort of fell out of the habit of doing it, and I'm trying to, like, get back into it, but it's kind of just, I'm not, like, you know, usually, if I'm not playing Tooth and Tail, I'm streaming to an audience of 0. You were literally just a kid. Yeah, fair enough. To be honest, I don't think kids should be streaming. It's one of those things where, I mean, kids are on the internet anyway, so there's no practical way to stop it. But it's one of those things which is always just kind of a, I wish there was a way we could, you know, prevent it. Or at the very least, like, make sure kids are only streaming to other kids. Like, there's something, it's a weird part of the internet that no one ever talks about, is that you just assume everyone on it is the same age as you. Like, you've got no idea, like, if someone says something in Twitch chat, whether they're, like, 5 years old and have just been handed an iPad, or if they're, like, 97 and have just been handed an iPad. Like, you've got no clue. But you kind of just assume everyone is a sort of, like 20 to 30, like, bracket range. Basically, you assume everyone is sort of in, like, your age bracket. 22. I'm 29. I'm going to be 30 in November. I feel so old. At least a quarter life, but I'll be honest, I would not be surprised if it's a half-life, if it's a midlife crisis, because I've got a real strong gut feeling that I'm not going to make 70. I feel like 60 is going to be it. Okay, so I can't explain why I feel like this. Also, by the way, Badger down. Sorry, this is what happens when I've been streaming for like 2 hours. I get distracted and start talking about other stuff rather than the game. But I've got this really strong gut feeling that I will either, like, die at 60, oh, I will live to be 120. Like, for some reason in my head, there is no possible world where it's like I get to like 79 or 82 or something like that. I feel like I'm going to be like die at 60 or just never fucking end. Because that is a way a lot of people in my family go. Like, if we beat 70, we go for a long time. Alright, so, funny story about that. So, I was actually... So, for my 18th birthday, my parents take us out to a restaurant, and they're making a big deal about it, and I'm not really getting it. Because I know 18 is, like, supposed to be, oh, you're finally an adult, but I'm like, it's just another birthday. I'm not doing anything now that I wasn't already doing at 17. So it's not really changed anything. And so I asked them, why do you guys care so much about this? And you know what my parents said to me? They said, because they said, straight-faced, to be honest, son, we really didn't think you'd make it this far. Which I was like, yeah, fair enough. I nearly died when I was, like, very young, like, multiple times from illness, so, you know, fair enough. Like, my earliest memory, I say my earliest memory is of me nearly dying, but that's not technically true. I got taken into hospital with septicemia, and I was, like, an hour or two away from death. So there was some very desperate action. They kept me alive. I was basically comatose for it, but I have seen the pictures of it. My actual first memory is of the day I got out from that, walking down the corridor to the playroom, leaving my bed for what must have been the first time in like a week, and painting a bus. But it gets the point across better if I say my earliest memory is of me nearly dying in hospital. That kind of gets the point across better and sounds more dramatic, so I like to put it that way. Anyway, fight happening. The Badger from X-Lord could do something. Unless it sticks to the mines and blows itself up like it does there, that Badger was going to sweep Murloc. But the mine's coming in clutch. Does X-Lord go for a second Badger, or does he sell it? He sells it. You saw this whilst you were young. Oh no, I had like... up until like I was 12 or 13, I was spending months every year in hospital. Lungs collapsed twice in the last 4 years. That's rough. I knew someone at school whose lungs collapsed, and I was like, that feels like it's not something that should be able to just happen, but apparently it is. Like, you can just be... He was just walking fine, perfectly healthy, and then his lung collapsed. But yeah, I've got this... I've got a lot of underlying health issues that meant I get infections and stuff very easily. So I had pneumonia, like, something like twice a year, at least. There was a school year where I was only there for 2 weeks. No, sorry, school term, I think, where I was only there for, like, 2 out of 10 weeks. Just chilling. Yeah, can't imagine it feels great. Okay, X-Lord, getting attacked this time. Okay, just surrenders. Murloc was far ahead there. Sorry, this is exactly what I was worried about happening. Is happening, where I'm just not actually talking about the game anymore. I'm kind of just vibing. Get me shot in the lung. Okay, that's the third game. That's the one we just did. So we're on game 4. It's 2-1 to Evil Murloc. Wound, you get shot in the lung. It's a bonus. bonus tournament. It is a bit. It is the bonus tournament. It should be a bit more chill. But you know, I know that if I was a player, if I was watching one of my games be casted, I'd be slightly annoyed if someone was just like completely ignoring the game. My games tend to be a little bit harder to ignore. I will say that. I have a good track record of making exciting games happen. That said, don't watch my latest games against Araloo, because they are as dull as possible. They are exactly what you would expect to have happen. If I told you, oh, it's Big Pimpintosh versus Araloo, you've probably already, as long as you know who both of us are, you probably already know how those games went. Exnor really didn't need to sell there. Like, the mole couldn't have killed that pig before it had built. So Exnor's getting Marlon's getting a bit of value, but okay. I was going to say Exnor should just eco back up, but instead he's committing to these Warrens. 6 farm triple. Murloc's going to come in and scout it. No, Araloo's very good. It's just that he's good in a very boring way. Like, he plays the same stuff every time, and it's just, for some reason, really hard to counter. Because he's just... Oh, good night, Pingu. Because he's just, you know, very consistent and good at timings. So he, like, you know, basically he came in when I was, like, 10 seconds away from getting my army ready. Each time. Okay, Exnor has a bit of tempo. He's slowed down a lot by the water and by the map distance, but does get a pig instantly. Not even all of his units are here yet, so he should probably retreat. He surrenders! What? You killed the pig! Why? Why? I guess he'd been on 6 farms? But... Oh, hello, Kerper. Unfortunately, Kerper, you missed your... We played your full best of 7 with, Pingu. That's a very... Well, you know... Okay. I'll get back to Kerper in a second. Exnor is a known tilter. He really shouldn't have surrendered there. Like, that farm kill was probably enough to keep him in it. What happened, Ziggy? So, Exnor had gone 6 farm triple squirrel warren. He, like, rather than rebuild the farms when he was being mole harassed, he just went full into warrens. He came over, had the advantage for a bit, sniped the pig, but then just tried to fight it out, lost his squirrels, but it was only like 5 squirrels, so whatever. And then he surrendered. I mean, the VOD's there, you can check the replay. Okay, so I don't think I'm going to have time or the energy to go through the Space Nut Devil best of 7. I want to finish this off with the Meek games, but I do need a quick whiz, so give me 2 secs. last set then. Alright, Sensage versus Meek. Okay, because Meek, the replays didn't say who Meek was fighting, it just said Meek. So, alright, so we got Squirrel, Toad, Pigeon, Skunk, Snake, Wolf for Sensage. A bit of a standard deck. Like, it's kind of a Disguise, but a bit of a variation. Like, you don't usually see the snakes in this guys or the toads. So a little quirky, but definitely the shape is sort of normal. Meek going with Lizard, Ferret, Boar, Fox, Machine Gun, Balloon. I think we saw a very similar deck to this from QQ earlier on. It's what I love about Meek games, and Meek was my favourite person to play in this game ever, because he would do such weird stuff. And this is, I mean, it's not maximum weird. It is, you know, Pyle and QQ have, you know, made this sort of composition work. I think even Mishi has done it a couple of times. But Meek just going to come in, just suicide as he does onto a pig and get away, having only lost 2 lizards. Now it's just about, can he defend? Lizards aren't great on defense. He does have the defender's advantage though, and it's even numbers, but his units are going in there slightly injured. No, clears it up, and that... Yeah, Meek was always really fun to play against, even if I was losing, because the way I was losing was very unique. You really had to keep on your toes. That said, these sort of lizard attacks are absolutely signature Meek. Like, he was really good with lizards. I would honestly say Meek was probably the best player specifically at using lizards, the best lizard main out there. After Pyle sort of retired, it used to be Pyle, but I'd say Meek has taken the spot. Because stuff like those jumps in, where he runs into, like, the pigs with the units around it, and he somehow only uses 2 tier 1s. It feels like if I did that, I'd lose, like, all of them. Now, that said, he is losing right now. This machine gun is not in position to actually help. That balloon is not in position to actually help. He is very lucky Sensage didn't turn around and see that this cell... Well, he's not lucky, he made a call, and it worked. He said, Sensage only has 2 squirrels, he's going to retreat. But to be honest, if I was Sensage, I would have probably tried to pick off that last Warren from out of range of the machine guns, or at least try to get this corner pig. So, Meek, after a promising start, is knocked onto the back foot. Sensage is given a bit of time to breathe. He can get his mill up. This is definitely the mill he wants, because it's harder for the lizards to get in. This map is so open in the middle that it's actually really good for the lizards. Like, lizards can come in up here and come in from the left, come in up here and come in from the front, or they can take the long way around and come in from the right. That's 3 out of 4 sides of the mill that the lizards can attack. Here, the lizards can really only attack the one side, so it's definitely the safest one if you took one of these. And also, because it's just closer, it's just more convenient. I'm overcomplicating this to talk about how it affects the lizard match up, but the main point is, this one's really close, these are really far. Okay, so we're going into the fox. I like this ninja from Sensage as well. Meek hasn't scouted it. This is how you want to do a ninja base as well. You want to get like a second mill that looks like you'd actually take it, and you want to act like you're ecoing up normally on there, or at least conservatively. So put a farm or 2 down there, so it looks like, yeah, this is where I'm building, and then you go hard on your ninja mill. So your opponent thinks that you're like maybe 1 farm ahead or 1 farm behind. You know, nothing too suspicious. But Meek is a clever little boy. Why did I say that? Why did I say that? Meek scouts efficiently, and spots this. He probably figured out something was up because he saw Sensei burrow back. While Meek was over here, he saw Sensei burrow back, and in his head he's going to be like, wait, Sensei wasn't scouting my base, so where is he burrowing back from? Because it's unlikely he was just scouting, so he might have another mill. Anyway, the quick fox, I think probably seals a deal. Meek is still only on 4 farms compared to Sensei's 15. Like, this mill has even stayed alive with 1 pig on it. So the ninja is still, like, getting him value. His problem is Sensei just doesn't have the army to attack into these machine guns. And this is sort of exactly what you want the fox to do. It's, you know, just pick off individual units, get increasing amount of value, steady over time. Now we're into the pigs. There's 2 pigs. I don't know how many. 3 pigs. I don't know how many tier 1s. But it's just stopping Sensei from, like, building up. Like, his numbers were low, and he was losing 1 squirrel every couple of seconds, so he could never build up to that critical mass he needs to break through here. And look, just on the, like, run from here to here, he's gone down to just 4 squirrels when he started at 12. Like, this fox is just getting so much value. It is occasionally taking a knock, but, you know, he can at any moment just run back here to hide. Now, he will starve, but these farms have a couple of minutes, so he's not... So eventually he is going to have to expand. Sensei just deliberately taken these mills just so he can't. I think the tier 3 is a mistake. But he doesn't know about the... Oh no, he does know about the boar. So he knows that there's a boar coming. He's got no way to deal with it. I don't know why he thinks the wolf is going to help. Oh, I mean, the wolf would help him catch the fox, I suppose. But he knows that there's a boar next. And I think Meek can kind of now just move forward. And actually, now that I really think about it, taking these mills doesn't help, because he can't force Meek off this mill. Or this mill. Or he can't stop Meek from destroying this mill. So what does taking these 2 actually accomplish? Like, the boar here just wins. Just solos, pretty much. The wolf is nearly up. The wolf does come out. But it's not buffing anything. Like, the whole army is dead. And that's game 1 to Meek. But still, an interesting game. Okay, so Sensei going Squirrel, Lizard, Toad, Falcon, Fox, Wire, which is an odd build. Usually don't take this much tier 1. Usually don't take all 3 of the combat tier 1s. And you don't... I mean, we're seeing Fox a lot more in this tournament. But it's one of the lesser played tier 3s. So Meek with Squirrel, Mole, Ferret, Snake, Machine Gun, Balloon. This is another build that Meek likes a lot. This is like his siege build. So he's going to be probably trying to take this mill, build up a balloon wall up here, and then just ferret shot constantly. Like, this is actually a pretty solid map for what Meek wants to do. If Sensei expands, like, because if he expands here, he can basically shut Sensei out of this expansion and put a lot of pressure on this original mill. Sensei is going to be forced to, like, expand over here, where Meek could just, like, build a couple of moles here and then go straight in. Now we are seeing a bit of squirrel back and forth. Meek really turning around to defend that building farm. Can't push too far though, which is is my way of saying you should probably turn around now. Oh, see you, Ziggy. Get them gains. I swear that used to be bigger. Okay, so we're seeing Meek expand. Is he going to be able to get his balloons up is the question. That's what's going to make or break this build for Meek. He's going for the ferrets first. And since they're just taking the high ground... Okay, is Meek just going to stick with the moles? He could punch through this barbed wire. Ooh, why is that hurting? Okay. Here come the moles. Toads kind of trade with them. They clear out enough of the wire that Meek is able to work around it. And then he puts the balloon down. Is he commit to it? No, he's going to go for the machine guns first. That's probably the right play. Like, balloons are very fragile, and so if you get attacked while they're building, they're basically guaranteed dead. Now it's going to be much easier for him to get the balloons up behind this machine gun wall. Sense Edge, this is what I was saying, he's expanding out to the side. Ooh, he sends his army in and then his commander dies. He does clear out 2 of the machine guns. That is pretty significant, but he's losing so much army that this could just be a snowball moment. That's 1 farm down, that's 2 farms down. I think Meek sweeps from here, because now Sense Edge won't be able to pressure the ferrets, the snakes, the balloons, the defences. He won't be able to attack, which is exactly where Meek wants him, contained. Okay, Meek just gonna go for the base. Why not? Is he gonna make it? Ooh, just about. I mean, Sense Edge does have that other base, but it's only got 2 farms on it. Like, these defences do go down, so that is important, but Sense Edge doesn't have the army to keep pushing. He's wondering whether he should give up. I'd say play it out. I mean, it's going to cost you, what, 2 minutes of your life? And I've seen weirder comebacks happen. Because it is only 2 farms to 4, and these will fallow. So, like, look, already, if these farms build, Sense Edge is actually ahead on eco. The problem is that Meek can eco up easier and has stuff to build into, which Sense Edge doesn't really. Also, these mills are so exposed, like, Meek can just clear them up easily. Oh no, they survive, that's good. It's not hugely necessary. Oh, I'm liking this. I think this is not enough units to do it, but I like the play. Problem is, he's not going to win the base race. But that's still like 2 warrants he's picked off. But oh, he's going to lose so many squirrels trying to get through this choke point. Is he going to be able to hold? He is still building. I think he might get away with it. No, he's lost too many. Bled a few too many units. I like the play, but he needed to save it until he had enough units to go all in. Opens him up to the base race, so you probably need to take another mill as well. And realistically, you're talking like an extra 2-3 minutes to make all that happen. Anyway, game 3, and possibly final, because Meek is up 2-0. So Sense Edge goes Squirrel, Ferret, Falcon Cam, Wolf Mine. Against Squirrel, Pigeon, Falcon Skunk, Badger Owl. Sense Edge also changing his commander to get the colour boost. It does do something to your brain when you change commander, like if you're stuck in a rut. Even though it's purely cosmetic, psychologically it helps. Sense Edge doesn't go through with the attack. Meek goes into Falcon Skunk, double tier 2s, and Sense Edge goes for his expansion. I gotta be honest, it's gonna be tough for Sense Edge to do this, I think. The Badger Owl combo is really strong, so if we go into the late game, Meek's got it, and this is a pretty defendable position. There is this other avenue of attack, but it's so far out of the way for Sense Edge that it's not going to be easy for him to go that way. Meek will probably spot it, and Meek already going for tier 3. Which one? Badger or Owl? Owl. Badger. I should have guessed. Well, I knew. Well, Owl. I wonder how much it does matter. I think against the units he's seen, they both do equally well. I think Badger one Badger is probably worth more than one Owl, but you kind of want to get the Owl count going earlier because, like, 5 or 10 Owls matters more. But, you know, he's probably not expecting the game to go that long. This is good work by Sense Edge. The Falcon's giving him high ground vision, and the Ferrets are able to make most of it. Getting squirrels, getting pigs, getting double warrens. The pig's just dodging all of these ferret shots. It's very annoying when you're the ferret player and that starts happening. Okay, so Badger is paid for. This hasn't been scouted. Sense Edge just put down his wolf. Oh, that's really bad timing. You do not want to be putting your wolf down as the Badger is paid for. Now, if the Badger doesn't have anything to support it, then it's still, you know, pretty vulnerable. No, that's not what I'm going for. I'm going for this. This is a lot of damage. And he's going just straight for the mill. He could just... Sensei could just keep up the attack here. He doesn't need to retreat. Just take that mill down. Or just go in the front door. Like, Meek clearly doesn't want to fight. Just fight it. I guess he's more worried because of the skunks. Okay, but the badger's out. He sees it. Presumably that prompts him to run. How did the skunks not get hit by that ferret shot? Okay, so Meek is clever here. He's going through the water because he knows that there's mines on the ground and he doesn't want to get hit by them. So he's going for some territory that the mines can't be built on. I mean, the army value is technically even. Is Sensei going to go for the base race? He kind of needs to stall until his wolf comes out. That evens stuff up immensely. But no, he's going for it. He is going for the base race. You do not want to base race a badger, but maybe with the ferrets it works. I mean, look, because the badger's revved up and Meek is smart. He's... Oh, I was about to say he was going to play it smart. He should just bring his badger onto here and let the rest of his units handle this. But a fully revved up badger chews through that. And yeah... Oh, no! He did it! Hang on, I wanna check out that again. I thought that this wasn't built yet, so it wouldn't matter, but Sensei was able to just gun these down so quickly, so I want to check that out. So, got a really good ferret play here. This is smart by me to go through this. I thought Sensei here, when he was threatening the base race, I thought that was just a bluff. I didn't expect him to actually go for it. Meek certainly took it seriously. Meek didn't have enough food to buy this mill at the moment. Once he bought this mill, I think he thought he was in the clear. But, okay, so I'm going to say, what Meek should have done is he should have pulled his badger straight through to start attacking this mill while the falcons kill this mill. Especially once he got rid of the warren, so there weren't going to be like squirrels jumping up to shoot his falcons. That's that way he's attacking both at once. I'm imagining what happens here is that Sensei has his ferrets hitting this. Oh no, it's because the mill was already at half health. Okay, I need to like go through that with a fine-tooth comb to know exactly how quick that was, exactly how close. Because that mill was close to building as well in the middle. I don't think it would have got up before the badger destroyed the other mill, but it might have. But the real deciding factor was the chip damage Sensei had got on the mill earlier. Sensei, if both mills had been at full health, Meek would have won that base race, I think. Unless that third mill came up. I don't think it was going to. But it was very close. You could see on its sprite that the windmill, I don't know what you call them, the part of the windmill that actually goes round, the arms, the wings, the spokes. Well, they had come out, so you know that it was very nearly built. What are the parts of a windmill called? The rotor, the blades. Of course it's blades. I knew that. I shouldn't have needed to look that up. It wasn't a technical, it wasn't exactly technical jargon. So Snake's coming out for Meek. Actually, 8 farm Snakes coming out for Meek. As Sensage goes for double mold. He can get this Warren down, but he's forced to sell. He's going for the other Warren when, to be honest, I think he should just kept going for the pigs. I'm wondering if there hasn't been a bit of desync here. Okay, well, Sensage finally sells out of this. Meek has 3 squirrel ones down, but both players are up to 8 mils. Sensage has taken a fucking extra mil. And Sensage goes back and puts down a boar, which I'd say was insane, but Meek has actually put down a fox. Like, I was expecting Meek to just walk across the map at that point, but no, he goes for his own tier 3, so both players are playing equally nutty, and I don't know who's going to win from this position. Meek misses the scout on the tier 3, Sensage doesn't. That scout is a big deal, because Meek is probably not expecting a tier 3 at this early in the game. Oh, and he sells his tier 3 and goes for lizards. Now, okay. If the boar actually does come out, that was a wrong move by Meek. But Meek is clearly going to try and attack before that happens. He thinks that he's going to have, like, an opening. And maybe he would, except he supply blocked himself by building a load of farms on his second mill. Except Sensage has also supply blocked himself, so the boar is only just now building. Meek still hasn't scouted the tier 3. Oh my god. Because if he knew that there was a boar coming, there's no way he'd be investing this heavily in tier 1. But Meek must know something is weird. Like, there's not enough food on Sensage's side of the map. Like, there's clearly stuff missing. But Meek probably thinks that Sensage has moles hidden somewhere. Okay, he finally gets up and scouts the boar. But it's so late, the boar is out now. So what does Meek do about this? Because he was probably expecting a bunch of moles to come out from somewhere. It looks like he's going for the base race. He's going to base race it. Oh my god, Sensage, you need to take another mill somewhere on the map. Oh god, no. Oh, this is going to be so painful to watch. Like, Meek absolutely wins this. Oh, maybe not. Like, the lizards have only just got on the mill. Oh, but he's built the third. Oh, Meek's going to win with a base race. Are there any reinforcements here that are going to be able to hold it off? The lizards are dying. Oh, it's so close. Come on. Oh my god, 1 hit away. Oh my god. 1 hit away. That was so close. Like, the lizards do 3 damage a shot. Oh my god, Meek still might actually win. Oh, Meek actually still had a chance to win. Oh, that was so close. Alright, well, that's game 5. Oh my god, that was so close. Okay, here we go. Game 5. Squirrel, skunk, snake, owl, wolf, mine for Sensage. It's squirrel, mole, ferret, snake, machine gun, balloon for Meek. So we've seen this deck before for Meek. We know what he wants to do. This deck hasn't actually worked for Meek particularly well. Is that true? He won 1 game with it. Lost the previous, so I guess it's at least 1 for 1. The proxy mill. But Sensage already has a Warren down. He scouts this. Yeah. Thing is, Meek is immediately going to put down a machine gun. He knows the ranges perfectly. 2 machine guns, like 1 squirrel by itself, like, isn't going to be able to stop this. Okay, that machine gun actually picks up a farm. It's a really big deal that it dies, but it's also a really big deal that that squirrel died, because Sensage needs to get up to 4 like, basically he needs 6 squirrels as soon as he can, so we can stop this defences from happening. It takes 4 squirrels to burst down a mill, but Meek is probably going to be building others. He's not. Okay, Meek is abandoning ship here. He's not going to invest any more in this position. That's already 60 food that he's wasting. Going to try and defend his main. He has the squirrels to do it with the machine gun. Yeah, Sensage has to retreat here. Just take the 60 food mill. Oh, no, he turns around. Meek has come out to play. There's so many options here for Sensage, but he's just going to take the safe one, go back, get rid of that mill, and then I think both players will just go up to 8 farms, and we'll pretend that this is a normal game. Also, Meek should definitely take this campfire as soon as he's able. It's so protected, it's just an extra farm for him. Okay, so Sensage going expanding, building a skunk. Meek is definitely behind. This was... like, he picked up 1 farm with this, and he sold one of the machine guns, but he still lost a machine gun and the mill for a couple of squirrels, so that's like 120 food for like 60 maybe. No, less than that, fewer than that. It was only 1 squirrel he actually killed, I think. So yeah, it's like 120 food for 20 food. That's putting Meek really behind in this early game, and he's feeling the pressure. Now this campfire is actually a really important deal for Meek, because it means that he can get his eco like cooking up again without having to take a mill. Because the mills, looking at Meek's position, the mills are actually really awkward for him. They're not great for Sensage either, but this one's pretty safe. This one's very close to his base, even if it's very open. But these 3 are like Meek's potential mills, and they're decently far away and really spread out and pretty open, so there's a lot of angles of attack. Now this is good fire by... That is great work by Meek. Killed 2 squirrels and a skunk for free. That is a huge amount of value. That's... How much is that? That's 100 food. He's not going to lose. Oh my god, heroic squirrel there, shooting down an entire mole warren himself in the face of that snake poison. Oh, and this is the trees actually make this a very good position for the ferrets. They can shoot over it, whereas Sensage's army has to sort of spread. That's 2 farms that Meek has picked up already. He's probably going to pick up this mill now. He's picked up so much tier 2 with the snakes as well. This is starting to look like a Meek victory. Unless Sensage gets something very impressive done very soon. He has this snake. That's... but the mill does go down. And he's not microing his snake right. He doesn't pull it out. He lets the snake die to the ferret shots. He mis-microed it. He could have saved it. Is the snake gonna die? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ugh. Okay, so it's 4 farms apiece. Actually 5, because Meek has his campfire. I mean, Sensage could pick up this campfire pretty quickly, and he does have this mill already, which Meek knows about, right? He doesn't. Meek has somehow missed this mill going up. But does Sensage start putting farms on there? I think Sensage probably wants to go destroy this campfire and put stuff there first. He definitely doesn't want to fight here. Like, this is such an open map. Walk around the defense. Like, you win the... Okay, well, he's at least not getting hit by the machine gun, but he's not really focus firing those tier 2s with his snake either, which is what really makes a difference. Like, Sensage just sort of stood there and let his army pick their own targets, whereas Meek was focus firing, and that makes all the difference, and Meek takes it. I mean, I don't know if Sensage was definitely in a bad position there anyway, as you can tell from the army graph, but Didn't do himself any favours. Still, a nice couple of base race games. These were all some great sets. All of these were pretty exciting. I'm sorry, Space Nut and Devil himself. I'll try and do a few more of these in the week, so I'll get to you next time. But it's 11 o'clock. We're about to hit 3 hours on the stream. I just don't have the energy to do a full best of 7. Alright. Well, thanks for coming, everybody. I will publish a VOD and upload it to my YouTube channel, which is Big Pimp and Tosh. Check it out anytime. But for now, have a good night. Toodles.